Hi lovelies, welcome back. Today we are setting up my bullet journal for February 2025. Life's moving fast, isn't it? It's already February, but the good thing is setting up the second month isn't as nerve-wracking as January. It's much more chill. I'm feeling a bit more relaxed and I think my theme reflects that as well. You'll see what I mean by the end of the video. Before we dive in, let's do a quick flip through my bullet journal so far. I've finished one book and have a few others on the go. The ones I'm currently reading are these big, thick ones, so I'm a bit behind in terms of numbers, but I'm sure I'll catch up once I finish these and move on to the smaller books. I've been doing well with working out and eating healthy as well. I've also been pretty consistent with my habits. Just a heads up, this video was filmed on the 21st of January, so my habit trackers might look a bit empty. So overall, I'm happy. And here's my January setup. I'll also show you the last few blank pages of January since the filled ones are a bit too personal to share. Alright, let's dive straight into setting up February. For this month, I'm going with a heart theme. I've actually never done a love or heart theme for February before, just like I've never done a Christmas theme for December. My reasoning, I think December is already festive enough everywhere, so I don't feel the need to add more in my journal. And for February, Valentine's Day is just one day. It doesn't feel big enough to deserve a whole theme. Maybe I'm just not a very festive person, I don't know. But anyways, this year I've decided to switch it up and embrace the hearts. Why not? So I started by writing the title so I could draw around it later on. As usual, I'm faking the calligraphy because I'm not great at brush lettering. I don't usually pencil sketch first, but I wanted to be extra careful this time to avoid mistakes. I've chosen these colors for the hearts. Not just pink and red because that'll be too boring, so I also added blue and yellow. The markers I'm using are Crayola Super Tips, and it wasn't planned, but the red one matches my nails perfectly. These press-on nails are partially for filming, but also mainly because Chinese New Year is just around the corner, so perfect timing. I'm drawing the hearts in a sketchy style, leaving small gaps instead of filling them in solid. This way it feels more breathable and light. I flipped over the page to check for ink bleed since I was pressing down quite hard to fill the hearts, but luckily there were no issues at all. The notebook I'm using is the Paper Ideas Dotted Journal in A5, and I've linked it in the description box if you are interested. I started by drawing big red hearts first, then added smaller pink ones as they are the main theme. I then used the blue and yellow hearts to fill the gaps. It's a super simple setup, just random hearts and it looks good. Next, on the left side, I set up my calendar area. If you've seen my other videos, you know I don't use a traditional monthly calendar much. Last year, I did a doodle a day style for my calendar page. I haven't done anything for January yet, as you might have noticed, but I'm thinking of adding stickers, washi tapes, and doodles and lettering all together to put down the highlight of each day in the calendar area. I think that will be fun and make the journal more colorful. I'll make a video about it soon and hopefully it could work out. So for February, I'm still drawing the calendar on here, and if the January calendar turns out to be a success, I'll do the same here too. And of course, there will be hearts. I'm putting them where the lines meet and writing the dates on them. Now the February cover is done. I did come back to add some confetti later after finishing my weekly setups, which I'll show you soon, but for now, let's move on to the weeklies. My grid spacing cheat sheet is looking a bit tired. I've been using it for over a year now. I might make a new one when I have time. For this week's layout, I divide each page into 4 sections and add drawings on either side. I use pink lines as the background and layer little red hearts on top. I alternated between a darker and brighter red and balanced it out with some smaller pink hearts. While doing the voiceovers, I realized this layout would have been perfect for Valentine's week because it's all red and pink. Oh well, it's all good. Once the drawings were done, I added wavy lines to frame each day's writing space. My bullet journal is mostly for reflections instead of checking to-do boxes, while I use a different planner for that. So here I need plenty of writing space. I kept the dates and days of the week minimum, and the last block is for my week in review. And there we go. The first weekly spread for February is done. Let's move on to week 2. For week 2, I use a similar setup but swap the colors. I place the drawings in the middle this time so they connect, with the writing space on either side. This time I'm drawing the yellow background lines first, then I alternated red and blue for the frames, and added little hearts along the wavy line to tie it together, and a few pink hearts to balance the page in the end. I love how cute it turned out. Similarly, I put dates and days of the week to the corners so I have more writing space. And it's done. Moving forward to week 3, it's a bit different from the last 2 weeks. I'm drawing 4 hearts in the center of the page, each facing a different direction. Then I'll add dotted lines to frame out the space for each day. Together, the lines and the hearts look like little balloons. Since they are dotted lines, I sketched them out with a pencil first to avoid going off track. Honestly, it feels quite soothing drawing the little dots in line. It's a bit like Zentangle, but a lot simpler. On the page on the right, I decided to extend the yellow line from the left to connect the yellow hearts. So I switched up the colors a little bit this time. I also skipped the pencil sketch for these lines because I noticed it's tricky to erase the pencil once there are markers on top. It tends to smear. So my dotted line is a bit wobbly, but honestly, it's all good. With the extra space in this red, I wrote out the full names of the days of the week in each block, and we are done with week 3. I'm really happy with how this turned out, simple yet fun. For week 4, I went bolder with bigger heart shapes. The main hearts are on either side of the pages, and I connect them with wavy lines. Then I add another heart outline, slightly offset from the solid one. And to mix things up, I alternated color combos. And it wasn't planned, but I think the page ended up giving a bit of comic style vibe. Once the hearts were done, the page still felt a little empty, so I decided to add some confetti. I made sure the little dots had more of a longer, irregular shape and faced different directions to really give it that confetti look. The final touch, of course, was adding the dates and days of the week, and with that, week 4 is done. After finishing the weekly spread, I came back to my cover page to add some confetti as well. I made sure the dots varied in size and direction, which gave it a fuller, more lively feel. It looks so much better now. And if you didn't know, my bullet journal is mainly for reflections, but I also use a smaller weekly planner for my to-dos. In that planner, I track my time using 4 to 5 different colors. I set up my weekly planner to match the colors of my bullet journal, and for January, I only used pink and gray, so I had to come up with more colors on the fly when setting up my weeks. But this time, since I've already got 4 to 5 colors in my February bullet journal, setting up my weekly planner will be a lot easier. Alright, we're all set for February now. Let's have a quick flip through of the full setup. And you can see I've got the relaxed vibe I mentioned at the start of the video, right? If you are curious about any supplies I used, I've listed them in the description box below. And as always, if you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to drop a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I hope 2025 has been off to an amazing start for you. Bye for now.